To this Belly Up Media production. Some said we'd go belly up, so we made it our name. And we're still here.
The following announcement has been paid for by the Scoreboard Addicts podcast.
And there we are. Happy Monday, everybody, on this rainy tri-state area Monday. I'm Matt. This is Sal. We're your Rasslin Addicts. How's everybody doing?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, another rainy day here, but that's okay.
Yeah, while the rain may be bringing us down, the rain is not bringing down the state of wrestling, because I feel like things are getting a lot better, a lot better. Things are improving ever since that stupid, backstage shenanigans with Punk and the Elite with AEW. And you've been watching, you've been live tweeting.
Yes.
You're very, I'll admit, when you're doing the live shows, whether it's WWE or AEW, you're always honest about it. You're like, no matter what it is, it's not like you're more of a WWE guy or more of an AEW guy. You're honest about what you're seeing and what you're liking. So
yeah, I'm going to call it out no matter who it is. And I think, try and stay as even as possible. But sometimes, the booking for one company can be a little more on the downside than the other one. So it happens like that.
Yeah. And what have you been seeing on the AEW side that's been...
All
right. Well, with that, we'll start with the bad. What have you been seeing so far? Because it's been a while since we had a show. It's been a couple of weeks, and I'm not going to be available next Monday. I'm probably going to be in AC for Columbus Day. I know some people don't refer to it as that, but this Columbus Day we will not be live. So tune in to see when we might come back. But a lot's happened in AEW since we last had a show, and I'll let you do the rundown of what's working and what's not.
Well, last week was miserable. I thought last week was really bad. The hurricane had something to do with it. Some talent wasn't there, but at the same time, I'm not crazy about that excuse. You still had Jericho there. You had Danielson. You had Moxley, MJF, Saraya. And it wasn't a good show. It just, the Saraya thing with the women, that was pretty cringy. That was bad.
For those who may not know, Saraya is formerly known as Paige over in the WWE. And you know what? It's not.
I'm happy she's there.
You know what? I'm happy that she's able to do what she likes, what she loves, what she trained so hard for. There was like a movie made about her. So clearly, wrestling's in her family. So
it's a good movie too.
You know what? As much as a Rock guy that I am, I didn't see it.
You didn't like him in that movie.
You know what? I haven't had a chance. I haven't had a chance to see it, so I just never.
Oh, okay.
It's I guess you could say it's on my list. I'm pretty sure Nick might have it on Plex, but
It's a
I've
good
yet
one.
I've yet to see it. And you know what? Our fellow podcaster over at Belly Up Sports, Pesky Report, they're also asking a question which I would like answered. Is Paige Saraya even cleared to wrestle again?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't, as of right now, I don't think she is. And that's the problem with bringing her in, kind of. She's there to elevate the women's division, but you can't do that unless she'd she'd make more sense just as a wrestler. But if you're bringing her in to be a commissioner of the women's division or a manager, I'm not very interested in that.
Yeah, the whole manager thing didn't work with the Kabuki Warriors
No.
when I was Asuka and
Yeah. Was it you? I
no,
think it was no.
Kyrie.
Kyrie.
Yeah, which to me, I get why they put Paige with them. The language barrier, but it just
didn't work.
didn't. It doesn't work. And it's funny. I was scrolling through Twitter today, and I'm definitely going to say it out of. I'm going to paraphrase the best I can. Conan said that Paige is a star. She's, I guess, well known or whatever. Like, she did a lot, but she doesn't know how to connect with the audience, pretty much, which I agree. I feel like she's like, and it's almost like WCW back during the wars, when someone came over, they would shoot a promo on Vince, or when X-Pac came back, Nick's boy, Nick's favorite, he got a promo on Bischoff and Hogan, and like it meant something then. Now, Vince isn't even in charge. So for her to say, "Oh, I'm at a place where my boss could listen to me,"
It's just an unnecessary reference that everybody in AEW continues to do, and in the beginning, it was it was funny in the beginning when they would do WWE references and all that, and now it's just getting old, and it's just I'm over it.
Yeah, that's actually really funny. Pesky Report knows that Paige is well known because she's definitely well known between Xavier Woods and Brad Maddox. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
And then that follows through with what what Nick was saying, that she just should have stuck to porn, which is it's a sick burn, it's because it's almost like, unfortunately,
she was good in the ring in WWE,
but it's been so, what though?
You can't do that anymore. I don't have interest in her being anything other than an in-ring performer. I don't have interest in seeing her being a commissioner or like a general manager or anything like that. She did that with SmackDown, didn't work.
It didn't work, and you know what? She's been out of the ring for so long that the way wrestling fans are, they definitely have short-term memory. And if you don't see someone for so long, even when her music hit, listen, it's not like, when Adam Cole came, it was a similar theme to the WWE one that he had and NXT. When Daniel Bryan came over, it was similar music. Punk came, TK, shelled out the money, got the actual theme that Punk used. So when you had just that little like remembrance of who people are, you're like, oh shit, I know who they are, and then they react. Like when Paige came out, it's almost like
once they put her name up on the thing, there was a big pop. I mean, the crowd did go crazy for that, but Yeah, the music thing is weird because I don't know. I would assume WWE has rights to that song that she has in WWE.
Yeah.
I don't think she could have brought it over.
No,
So
she definitely couldn't have brought it over. And I feel like she's not that big of a name right now. And with the history of neck
yeah,
injuries, the way she even debuted, like she's chasing three people out of the ring when she's in there by herself with a bum neck. And then Britt Baker the following week is going to make a comment about her neck. So, like, if
she
her neck is so bad, like for her to scare off three
no.
three heels doesn't make like if she would have debuted the way Bailey came back with Io and
Mhm.
Dakota, I think that would have made a little more buzz. You know, you have two girls from AEW making their return or someone coming back. It's
It, if Sarai was not brought in here into AEW to wrestle, that's wasted money by Tony Khan, in my opinion. I'm happy Sarai's in a wrestling role in a company because I do think she has something to bring to the table, but she does have some star quality to her. I mean, there's a movie about her, so there's obviously
yeah.
something. There's something there, but I don't think she's going to. I I think she's better off in WWE, but at the same time, there was just nothing else for her to do there. They did everything they could with her. They made her general manager, a manager, an ambassador to the
Yeah.
company. They made a movie about her. Then they put her on Backstage, the show on Fox Sports.
Yes. They
Yeah,
always and like I feel like when people take shots at WWE when, you know, they go to AEW or whatever, it's like par for the course, you know, like everyone does it. I wouldn't take it
it's getting
as
old.
oh, it's definitely getting old. I 100% believe that it's getting old. It's a way to get cheap heat. It's like what MJF is doing. You know, he's wearing the rival jerseys for
Yeah,
the
we'll get
cities
to
that he
that
goes
in a
to.
minute.
That yeah, that
Mm.
that I get, but it's just that the women's division is such shit in AEW that just
Yeah,
bringing in Paige, um I don't really think it's going to make that big of a difference.
at first I thought it would, and then once the reports came out that she isn't cleared to wrestle yet, then I was just like, okay, like it just. And then after that women's segment last week, it brought the women's division down, in my opinion.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I
Oh,
heard.
it was bad. It was just. There's no way of me even trying to make that segment sound good because it wasn't. It was a train wreck, and it just it, Paige was looking for like some type of like reaction
I saw
from the
that. Yeah,
crowd, and there was like crickets, and
yeah.
it
It's
was just
it's
like,
almost like no one
oh
cared.
my god, it was like, yeah, it was like nobody really cared, and ooh, it was just bad. She was brought in there to elevate it, and she did the opposite so
I
far.
am the
So
revolution. I was the revolution.
oh god,
This
that
is
line was just
this is the revolution. Whatever she means, I don't agree with. But what I do agree with is what Nick is saying, how Paige taking shots at WWE when they gave her a movie. Sorry, when they gave
yeah.
her a fucking movie is absolutely
And
pajamas.
they kept her under contract basically
To
the
do
entire
what?
time to do nothing.
Exactly.
Like they they literally gave her money just to sit home. And they
Yeah.
didn't even release her. They just let her contract run out, and they didn't. They're not going to sign her back to do what?
And then I saw her on her Twitch that like she was like upset that she felt like it came from out of nowhere. It's like, bitch,
Yeah,
like what did you think was gonna happen? It's you're hurt. It sucks. but unfortunately, it's a business, and there's nothing there for you. So
There
instead
really
of being, bitter, you had a job, they kept you, they found bullshit to have you do. Like you were the general manager. Why? For what reason? To
Yeah,
keep you on
it just didn't
TV.
work.
It didn't work. They did it to keep her on TV, to keep her relevant.
I mean,
And
it's only 2 weeks with AEW, so I hope she's if she's able to, if she's physically able to, and a doctor clears her, hoping she wrestles. At least give her like a Sting role. Like Sting doesn't wrestle all the time. He
yeah,
manages, he does that, but he at least wrestles when it's important. So give her that role.
I agree with that because they also
Give
have
her the Sting role.
they have so much talent that it would be impossible for her to wrestle every Wednesday. Like I feel like you don't have to, because even in the Attitude Era, going back and watching it, it's The Rock and Austin didn't have matches every Monday.
For the most part, no.
The
Once they got really popular,
yeah, because
they
you know
didn't
what,
need to.
there was no need to.
Yeah.
But speaking of all their talent, AEW, I don't know what to make of the whoops. That's not that's great. You know what though? I'm gonna put that one back up because I do agree that they should bring back some of the bra and panty matches, because let's be real, some of these women wrestlers aren't the best in the ring. And I wouldn't be opposed to seeing
They'll
that
never
happen.
do it.
No, they'll never
That
do it.
podcast.
They'll never
They
do it.
they want to make the women's division look serious, and it is. Good for them. They did make it a serious thing where it's like they're main eventing their shows. So yeah, I don't think we're gonna see Charlotte Flair or
No.
like Ronda Rousey in any type of those matches.
You know what? I wouldn't want to see them in those type of matches. Give me Scarlett and Mandy Rose.
Ooh.
Yes. Yeah. I'll pay $9.99 a month to Peacock for that. But what I meant to hit, what the comment I meant to show was, let me find it. Let's see. Here we go. Malachi Black, Aleister Black, Mr. Zelina Vega. I'm not really sure what to make of this, because I feel like once Triple H took power, there was like a lot of internet rumors and memes how like everyone who left is trying to get out of their contracts now, like Adam Cole,
Right.
Aleister Black, and other former NXT talent that left. But then, I don't know if he's released, if he took time off. On Busted Open
Yeah.
Radio, Tony Khan said that Malachi is on a 5-year deal. I think it's been a year and a half, 2 years, not even 2 years since
Yeah,
he's been
it's a
there.
lot of Tony said, like you said, he said it was a 5-year deal. And then Malachi Black is saying that's not true or whatever. Then Wrestling News is putting out reports that aren't true or whatever. I'll just say this on him. I just wish him the best.
Yeah.
What's ever happening with him and what's ever going, whatever's going on, just wish him the best. He said he's coming back to AEW soon, so we shall see. I think if he does come back to AEW, I think he should be on his own. I'm not crazy about the House of Black. It just doesn't work for me. So you bring him back as a single. He can be a star as a single, but not in that group. That group is just, I don't know. It just doesn't work. I don't get all the lights off, lights on thing. I'm not into it. I'm not crazy about it.
I feel like a character like his is so sensitive with how wrestling is now. And I don't mean sensitive to where, people are like, oh no. I mean sensitive to the fact that it's so hard to commit to a character like that when, there's Twitter, Facebook, Instagram,
Yeah.
TikTok. Like imagine the Undertaker's character today. It wouldn't last. No way.
Oh, well, he's a rare. That's a rare case with him because that character should never worked, and he made it work. The guy behind the Undertaker made it work, and that's a tough case there. But Malachi Black, I liked him better in NXT. The WWE version of him was just watered down, and Vince. I don't think Vince understood it totally. I didn't think he understood that gimmick that came up from NXT, but I liked him in NXT the best, and now in AEW. When he first came in, he was really good with Cody. They put him right in against Cody, had him beat him. So you thought right there, okay, they're going to make him a top guy, and then all of a sudden, just like everything else in AEW, is just dropped, and then you wind up being in a faction, and then that faction gets lost in the shuffle, and yeah, that's kind of what happened with him. At least that's what I think.
Yeah, and I agree with that Malachi got lost in the shuffle to where, the House of Black wasn't even about him anymore. It was about Brody King, and it's just that, he ended up being the star, and, kind of like what Nick is saying,
And Buddy
breaking
Matthews.
kayfabe.
Buddy Matthews does not fit in that group whatsoever. He just doesn't. It doesn't look great. He comes out with face paint on, and I just don't see. Just him in that faction just doesn't work. It just have him just be himself and wrestle, and I don't know. I didn't like when they put him in it.
I think that's the thing too, is that like what Nick is saying, breaking kayfabe ruined wrestling in the long run. I agree with that. And then also
I agree with that, but at the same time, everyone was so interested in what was going on behind the scenes. Like it just, and still to this day, like some people are more interested to know what's going behind the scenes than what's going on television, and it's kind of like where wrestling is right now. People are more interested in the behind the scenes stuff than, the storylines on television.
Yeah, I agree. And it's almost, but also too, the internet also ruined wrestling. Not only did AOL kill WCW, but also now, like, on Instagram, I'm pretty sure I saw a family photo of the Mysterios with a maskless Rey Mysterio and Dominic.
Oh, that's been. I've seen Rey maskless for.
Well, you know what?
I think that's forever.
Not so much the fact that he was maskless, but there's a big storyline going on between Rey, Dominic, and Judgment Day, and like you're taking a picture because you had a family trip. Here's what I'm going to tell the wrestlers that I tell some people that I know and like in real life. Not everything needs to be posted. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, to me, it's crazy
think
because
when social media came around, it's just hard to escape that. It's just like the world just changed when social media came around, and the wrestling world changed with it. So it's just kind of hard to escape. I mean, yeah, you shouldn't post certain things. Definitely not. But people want to. They're celebrities. They want to show what they're doing and stuff like that. They want to live their lives, which I get. But certain things should be avoided posting.
You could live your life, but at the same time, commit commit to the craft
I get that.
you're practicing, you know?
No, I
So
definitely get
like
that.
I don't not everything needs to be posted. And I feel like it takes away from the story that's being presented every Monday when you have Ray in the middle of a family photo and Dominic's at the end. Now, here's the thing. You can't even turn that into a storyline because Ray's not even wearing his mask. And you're not going to show a maskless Rey Mysterio to where, they somehow try to twist it like they do with certain tweets and certain like Instagram posts that they might do. But like for me, it's just like I don't like stuff like that doesn't need to be posted. And even like some AEW does the same thing. Like Tony Khan tweeting out, "This is the first episode where we had 3 lengthy pro." Bro, who gives a shit? No one cares.
He right now on Twitter has just become unbearable. This is a lot of even like AEW diehards are saying this now. He's just becoming just petty and like why not everything has to be explained, Tony.
He's too much of a fan who has a lot of money and not enough medication. That's it, bro. He wants to hire all these people. Hire someone to run his social media account. So they could be like, I don't think that's a good idea. Put the phone down, bro. Put the phone down. Get a comb. Brush it through your fucking hair.
But the AEW account isn't any better because then they just retweet his stuff anyway.
And it's embarrassing in a way.
It is. There's no professionalism.
At least with Triple H, you have that hashtag that was going around. We want merch or searching for merch. I think what I do with the overseas fans.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, where they want authentic merchandise. You know what? I don't blame them. They don't want the $5 family tree, family dollar bullshit. They want legitimate stuff for the wrestlers that they like. And Triple H responds back with, "We hear you." He didn't have this whole lengthy thing. Well, if you like, just shut up. Just stop.
Less is more.
Absolutely. And
less is more.
I feel like it's going to be a hard reality for AEW when people just get fed up with how Tony Khan.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I'm fed up with AEW.
You know what? Before you get into that,
okay,
let me take a quick break, and then you could let out your frustration.
I need a rant. Rant incoming.
Rant incoming. First, we're going to take a quick commercial break and make sure you return so Sal could unload on AEW. We'll be right back. And we're back already. So, for the people watching us, obviously we didn't go anywhere. And I don't even know which audio platforms have the commercials where we took a pause. But you know what? Thanks for staying because you're not going to be disappointed. Sal, let him have it.
Yeah, the one thing I would count on with AEW was MJF. He was the one thing where I was like, okay, I'm interested in watching his segments. And the past few weeks have just been they've taken away that from me. This stuff with Wheeler Yuta, and I know it's probably ending this week actually, because they're having a match on Dynamite this week. But it's like night and day. You have one guy that is the best on the mic in the business, and then you have this other guy that's just horrible. I don't know if they're doing it on purpose, but they probably are because MJF is, mentioning it in his promos. But it's just this week's segment with them. You had Yuta come out and call out MJF. MJF came out and smoked him on the mic. And then Yuta's comeback is just, all of it's just so forced. This whole feud is forced. I've never been not interested in MJF until now. Tony Khan has done the impossible. He's made people not want to watch an MJF segment. I don't have words anymore.
It's funny you say that because did that happen at Grand Slam or was it after Grand Slam?
The Yuta thing?
Yeah.
It happened at Grand Slam.
Okay, so that's why I know, because I watched Grand Slam and I honestly did not know who Yuta was at first because I'm
wouldn't be
not.
the only one. You wouldn't be the only one.
I thought it was like an updated version of like Justin Gabriel from the Nexus. I'm like, who is this guy? And as someone who doesn't really know him, I'll agree with you. It did feel forced. Like,
forced.
Even him yelling, it's almost like he goes, "Oh, you know what? I'm just gonna talk really loud, and yeah, it's gonna sound passionate. Like, I'm gonna like take you into the street and like bloody you." It's like, bro, you're in the ring. Just do it. Just do it in the ring.
Yeah, I don't get Tony's, passion for him. He's good in the ring. I've seen great Yuta matches. I've seen great Wheeler Yuta matches. But he has no personality. He has no charisma. He has no promo. He's worse than Bret Hart. He's worse than Bret Hart when it comes to charisma, having no personality, and no promo. He's great in the ring. He can have a good match, but where's the rest?
Yeah.
And I probably pissed some people off at saying that about Bret Hart, but it's true.
I think Bret Hart is great, but he's still overrated. Like, it's you could still be great and be overrated, but I feel like people just put him on this Canadian bullshit pedestal where he's honestly, CM Punk is a concussion away from being Bret Hart. That's it. They're the same type of guy. That's it.
Yeah, Punk. When Punk is 60 years old, he will go on the bitterness tour and just hate everyone, because that's what Bret does. But listen,
he's already there. He's already on the bitterness
he's already
tour.
there.
Are you kidding me?
Bret in ring, and his in ring stuff is top 5. Yeah, I can't deny that. But when it comes to personality and charisma and promos, I wouldn't even put him in top 10. It's like Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta should not be anywhere near a microphone. He's fine in the ring. He can do his stuff. Go ahead. That's great. But microphone and him do not add up.
Heel Bret Hart for me was the best when he was with the Hart Foundation going after Austin, and then with Michaels. Him just.
I will always like Owen more.
Oh yeah, Owen. It's a shame that Owen will never be recognized by WWE. But heel Bret when he was America Sucks, this shit and that shit, that was great. That was maybe my favorite Bret Hart. But I mean, I feel like they still listen. Punk going on that tangent and being suspended could not have ruined plans this much to where MJF is feuding with Yuta. It couldn't have.
And I get
where's Wardlow?
We don't know.
Where is he?
MIA. We don't know where he is. He's probably stuck in some 6-man tag that they're going to do. Where's Wardlow? Where's FTR? Where are they? Wardlow's a TNT champion. Where is he? Why is he on television? Why? Why is he being stuck in a tag team with Samoa Joe? Why? I want to know. Tony Khan doesn't know what he's doing. That's why.
And this is what happens when you have non-wrestling people running a wrestling company.
But can you imagine Vince if he had somebody like Wardlow, or not even just Vince, Triple H, having someone like Wardlow, and you put him in a tag team with Samoa Joe when Wardlow was the most over person after that feud with MJF, and then they did to him what they did to him. It's just brutal. I don't get it.
Wasted opportunity for sure. Definitely wasted. And
how do you not know what to do with him?
And you know what? And that's the thing too, is that he claims, Tony Khan, that he's such a big fan. Oh, I love this. I love wrestling. So if you love it, then you should not be making the same mistakes that Vince Russo made, Eric Bischoff made, WCW made.
But
It's
it's hard to mess what he just messed up with Wardlow. Like, it's very hard. It's hard to do. It's just like, I don't get it. It just bothers me.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, if anybody else was in his position, I think they would know what to do with Wardlow. Even if somebody was put in position that didn't know a thing about wrestling, they would be like, wow, this guy's a star. He's over. Let's do something with him. Tony Khan just drives me crazy.
So Sal's comparing you to Warlord, I guess, because Nick is comparing you to Warlord. Nick said that Sal was way over with us, me and the Scoreboard Addicts, and then we tag teamed him with Matt. Just saying. Well, thanks for watching, Nick. Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. So AEW is pretty much, and you know what? The hurricane. You mentioned the hurricane last week, how you're not accepting that as an excuse. And I like that, because all the AEW blowhards on fucking Twitter, when the ratings came out, they're like, well, there was a hurricane. It doesn't count. Stop comparing ratings. It's like, oh, so these things don't matter when they're not in your favor. That's what. Stand back. There's a hurricane coming through. I feel like that's.
I'll give them the ratings thing, because I mean, I'll give them that a little bit. But the fact that it wasn't a good show, you're gonna blame it on a hurricane because it wasn't. You didn't have enough talent there. I'm not buying that. You had all your top talent there. You had your new signee there in Saraya. You brought people over from New Japan that nobody knew. Who the heck is Juice Robinson? Nobody knows who he is. You brought Bandito over from Ring of Honor to face Jericho. Nobody knows who he is. Like, why are these people getting? These people from other companies are getting a spot, and you have people in your locker room that are begging for TV time. Your own talent are begging for TV time, and you're bringing in people from New Japan. Why? It blows my mind. Meanwhile, Wardlow's back there. Wardlow's back there doing nothing. He's making promos with Samoa Joe.
I feel like what Tony Khan is doing is what everybody thought Vince was doing, to where he's just signing a whole bunch of talent and just, I guess, trying to lock up the market in a way, to where, because honestly, if I'm Tony Khan, I would be a little concerned that Triple H is now running the show and not Vince, because
Triple H, look at all the Triple H people, the people Triple H brought in already. He brought in Gargano, he brought in Cross and Scarlett, he brought in Hit Row.
Candace is back.
You got
Braun Strowman.
Braun Strowman. Bray Wyatt looks like we'll get to that. Bray Wyatt's coming, I think. So, but he puts them on television. it's not like, okay, go sit in catering now. I signed you up, and now you can have one day on TV, and then go go have a salad in catering. I mean,
he knows how to book, I feel, and he is just. I guess Triple H listens more than Vince did, obviously. And, when Triple H was in the chair next to Vince, he probably had all these things like, well, I want to do it that way. I mean, I would
right.
have did this like that. And now he has that chance. And I don't really I think he's had more successes than misses since he's taken over. You have the women's tag team titles are back. They're on
a roll.
They are.
WWE has all the buzz. I guess we can move into Extreme Rules now. Or you want to move into Extreme Rules?
Yeah. Let me pull up the.
But they have
card.
all the buzz right now, and that's the problem with AEW. They don't have any. There's no. But what buzz does AEW have right now? Your EVPs are suspended. Punk is suspended and probably not coming back. And
Good.
And
good.
What
See,
do you have? You have
I'm already
MJF
yawning.
Casino chip. Yeah.
I'm already yawning thinking about CM Punk because it's done with. It's over. It's over.
I mean, the only thing that you can say is somewhat intriguing in AEW right now is MJF and his casino chip. You don't know when he's cashing it in. And the Acclaimed. The Acclaimed is a high spot right now in AEW. They are, I will say this, they are probably the most over tag team wrestling.
Yo, listen. Yo, listen. Scissor me, daddy ass. Like, it's
Billy Gunn.
It's over.
Billy Gunn has done wonders for them. I think he is a big reason why they are over right now. He just works well with them.
Yeah.
I'm sure Billy Gunn gave them some advice.
Oh, absolutely.
I guarantee it. Because Billy Gunn and the New Age Outlaws knew how to get over.
Oh, you didn't know?
Yeah.
Like, it was, if I'm going to have anyone from a former tag team in my corner, I'm going to make it, I'll take Billy Gunn over everybody else.
They were the most over tag team in the Attitude Era.
They might be one of the best tag teams of all time.
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, all right.
They were very over.
What? Speaking of not going too far, that is not what Triple H is doing. And Extreme Rules this Saturday, every single match has a stipulation to it. And they're all different. They're all unique. I'm looking, I think, as of right now, there are only 5 matches confirmed.
I think there's like 6.
All right, let's run down.
There's 6.
6. All right.
The one I'm looking
at. All right. What do you added a 6 so far? Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey. SmackDown Women's Championship.
It's a tough one.
I feel
Triple H has done an incredible job with Liv Morgan. For this feud right now, he has done a great job. Friday on SmackDown, she's shown another side of herself. She's showing like that fiery, badass side of herself. So I'm liking it, but I don't. I would find it hard to believe if Ronda lost again.
I think Liv wins due to outside interference. I know it's an Extreme Rules match, but what I'm saying is that someone's going to interfere. Someone's making their return. Raw does not need Charlotte because I heard Charlotte say she wants to go for Bianca's title.
Yeah, I heard that.
You know what? win the Rumble or have something happen, but I feel like SmackDown needs the women division needs another star. So I
Yeah,
could see Charlotte coming back, starting a feud with Ronda, and inadvertently helping Liv Morgan win the match.
I could see that too. But it's just hard for me to see Liv Morgan pin Ronda again. I think you have to have Ronda win. The fans are behind Ronda again. They seem to like her. Um, even though I'd love to see Liv win, just because I think they're finally just showing another side of her, especially after SmackDown, this past SmackDown, past two SmackDowns actually. So I'd like to see her win, but I don't. I just don't see Ronda losing. So I'm gonna do it with Ronda for this one.
I'm going with Liv because it's almost like where would Liv go from here? Like where does she go without the
No,
title? Where does she go without the title? Like Ronda doesn't need the title. A feud between Ronda and Charlotte does not need the SmackDown
nah,
Women's
I
Championship.
agree. I agree. I also think Charlotte's not coming back for a little while. I think she waits a little longer. I could see a feud with the for the title for Ronda and Shayna. I'm thinking that could be the next little feud there, and that'll be a good one.
Yeah.
But they could find something for Liv to do, or maybe they move her to Raw. Maybe feud with Bianca, maybe feud with Bailey and Damage Control. I mean, it does take away from SmackDown a bit, but
Yeah, I think
we'll see.
SmackDown's women division's pretty weak.
But at the same time, they're just there is really no brand extension, and it is kind of just like you know, Raw superstars are showing on SmackDown.
Yeah.
It's the brand extension isn't even really a thing anymore, so
It's
they could
it's
really just
not.
go anywhere.
You're right, they could. They definitely could. And I feel
Yeah,
like there's no women feuds that don't involve the title. Every feud, the women's tag
well,
titles, the Raw Women's Championship, the SmackDown Women's Championship.
yeah.
I mean, you don't see. Let me get some random people. You don't see like Dana Brooke or Tamina in a feud.
Unless it's for
Obviously.
the 24/7 title.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. See, and then now that there's no 24/7 title, they're not really feuding anymore. And by going down the route of keeping the title on Liv and introducing someone else to face Ronda, I feel like that could give you another feud, which could build to Survivor Series and
Yeah,
War Games. Because obviously, right now, it looks like it's going to be Damage Control versus Damage Control and probably another or two other people versus Bianca. And to me, it's still a weird team of Asuka and Alexa Bliss. That to me is still
yeah.
weird.
They need baby faces. They need to throw some baby faces in there, and they saw, hey, Bliss and Oscar aren't doing anything. Now they have Candice LeRae. Nice to see her back. Um, so there's your four right there. Maybe add another one. Um, yeah.
It's definitely interesting.
No, it's interesting.
And let's jump to the other women's championship match, Bianca and Bailey.
First ever ladder match between women for the title.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't know. It's almost like, are they doing a ladder match so Bianca doesn't get pinned again? Are they doing the ladder match because they want a ladder
I
match?
think,
Because
yeah, I think they're doing it because it's Extreme Rules. This wouldn't be a ladder match. I don't think any of these stipulations would be a thing if it wasn't Extreme Rules. So
no. Listen, I agree with you. I'm just saying, I think that they could have did a different match for the Raw Women's Championship if they did not want Bianca to take a pin. Because if you give Bailey the title and then Damage Control has the title, then they can be taken a little more seriously. But at the same time, I don't think any of them need the title. I don't think Bianca needs the title. I don't think Bailey needs the title. But by having the title, obviously she gets more TV time.
yeah, I'm gonna
It's a toss
go
up.
with it's a toss up. It's another toss up, but I'm gonna go with Bailey just
Ooh,
because. Yeah, you know, Kai and Io have the tag titles, so you just complete it.
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Just it's like almost like the bloodline. They got Roman has the undisputed title and the Usos have the tag title, so it makes sense. I'm gonna go with that, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bianca won here.
You know what? These are going to be subject to change because if these would be like our pre picks, and then Saturday before I'll tweet out updated ones based off of matches and different
I'm already
changes.
calling it that we were gonna see Dakota Kai and Io Sky in this match, try and help
Oh, absolutely.
Bailey, and we're probably gonna see Asuka and Alexa Bliss try and help
But
Bianca. So we're gonna see them, I think, too.
you know what? By you saying Asuka or Alexa, now I'm thinking that maybe someone turns, maybe Alexa turns or something. So
Maybe.
for now, I'm going to say Bianca. I'm going to say Bianca for now, but I'm
Okay.
going to see what happens on Raw tonight, and then I may have to change my
Change it up.
answer.
Mm-hmm. Never know.
The other two that I'm seeing on WWE, I think maybe I have to hit preview for that one, but I can't. You're right. There are 6. I can't believe I forgot about one of them. The other one that we have is Matt Riddle versus Seth Rollins in the Fight Pit match with special guest referee Daniel Cormier. So
This is huge. Getting him to be the special ref is a big deal. They've always wanted DC in the company. There's been talks of it, and this is the foot in the door. I think DC works perfectly for WWE. I mean, the things you can have him do, you can have him in a match of Brock. You could do that. You can, have him commentate maybe, maybe have a few fight. Imagine a match with DC and Logan Paul. Can you? That'd be interesting. But I'm happy he's involved in this. This is great.
who do you go with?
Oh, out of Seth and Riddle.
Yes, Seth and Riddle. I want to, because after you just talking about how much they wanted him in there, you mentioned, DC versus Brock versus Logan Paul. But what about DC versus Matt Riddle?
Oh, that'd be great too.
So I am now crossing out my answer, Matt Riddle. And I'm going to write Seth Rollins because
I'm going with him too, I think.
I could see some shenanigans. So, because listen, they fought at Clash. They're fighting now. I don't need another 3 series. I don't, because the next pay-per-view I think is Crown Jewel. And I think that's the perfect match to have Matt Riddle versus Daniel Cormier there. I feel like that'd
be pretty cool.
So I'm going with Rollins.
Yeah, I could see DC being. He's definitely going to be a factor in this one. I could see him screwing over Matt Riddle. Or maybe it goes the other way around. Maybe he screws over Seth and then there's a match set with him. It could go either way, but I think Seth is on such a roll. I'm going to go with him.
Seth is on a roll, and I feel like it's easier to hook Rollins into a feud, for November. Because you know what? I know they're not doing a Raw versus SmackDown thing anymore.
No, thankfully.
But I would love to see Rollins in War Games, like going after Roman. But I don't think it fits though.
No, it depends if they can make it fit.
And are they doing 5 or are they doing 4?
I don't know. I would think 5.
But I could see them doing something like 4 for the women and 5 for the guys. But if they do 5 on 5, then you have the whole bloodline. Roman, Usos, Sammy, and Solo.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could do Owens. You could do Rollins. Because with this being the first War Games, they're going to stack the shit out of it. I feel like they're going to throw some big names in there. And you're going to see some crazy stuff. And I feel like that would be a great direction for Rollins. Right. And then do something, between now and the Rumble, because I took a picture. All right. So October 8th is Extreme Rules.
Right.
November 5th, Crown Jewel. November 26th, Survivor Series. And then that's the last pay-per-view of the year until January. January 1st, day 1. January 28th, the Royal Rumble. Then February or March, you have Elimination Chamber. So I feel like, you have all this time in between from now to WrestleMania that you could get another Rollins-Roman match in there.
Yeah, I think that'd be money. Yeah. They're always money together. They did it at the Rumble. It was money, even though the finish of it wasn't crazy. It wasn't crazy about that, but I could definitely see them doing it again.
Yeah,
it works. There's history there, so I'm down for that.
And if you're gonna have Rollins challenge Roman, I know Logan Paul has a title match, third match in, but for Rollins, I think getting on a roll by beating Riddle in the Fight Pit is a great start.
Fight Pit is something that Triple H used in NXT, and it was great. And from what I'm trying to remember, I don't think it's been used since. I don't think it has since the old NXT. So I'm looking forward to it.
Definitely going to be interesting. So we're both going with Rollins, right?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Rollins. And DC is going to have some outcome in that match, obviously.
I agree. A match we haven't seen in a while. A strap match.
They do it in AEW a lot.
And if you ask me, put me in a strap match with Scarlett and pick the winner there. The winner's me no matter what happens. But Karrion Kross and Drew McIntyre. I almost feel like Kross kind of needs to win this match.
Yeah.
They Drew both doesn't need to.
You know what though? I feel like they both need a win right now. Drew came off that bad loss at Clash against Roman, but Kross needs to. I feel Kross does need to win more. He just came back, so I think I'm gonna go Kross, but it's gonna be a tight one there.
I'm picking Kross too. And speaking of AEW doing strap matches, our buddy Nick from the Scoreboard Addicts podcast, which you could find
Julie Bagwell.
You can find them on Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on the day of the week. But great show. You should definitely tune in to see it. Nick said AEW is one step away from Judy Bagwell on a forklift.
They're very close.
Honestly, I would say put Paige up there, but her neck might be too hurt for her to be that high. So it's probably not going to work. So in the meantime, we'll stick to the company that knows how to do stipulations. And we have a 6-man tag team, good old-fashioned Donnybrook match between the Brawlin' Brutes, which consist of Sheamus, Rich Holland, and Pete Butch Dunn versus Imperium, which is Giovanni,
Gunther, Ludwig, and Giovanni Vinci.
Yeah.
Which I might say this rivalry, this feud, other than the Bloodline stuff, because the Bloodline stuff is the best story in wrestling. Let's just be honest. But this stuff with the Imperium and the Brawling Brutes is fantastic. I mean, it really is good. Coming off that great Clash of the Castle match with Gunther and Sheamus. They're having another one, too, this week, which I'm looking forward to. Gunther and Sheamus Part 2. This is probably the second best story in wrestling right now. They have done a great job with it. Triple H knows how to tell a good story. And all of these matches on this card are good examples of that.
He also knows chemistry. Triple H is doing his best, Walter White, and he's just mixing and matching the wrestlers, and it's working. He's put in guys and gals in feuds, and they're good. Like the Brutes versus Imperium. Honestly, looking at it on paper, you would be like,
it's good. It might steal the show.
Oh, I think so, because you have Sheamus and Gunther, who are stiff as shit, and they're gonna lay it into each other, and the other 4 are gonna do that as well. I think this is gonna be a really good match with ramifications of probably title opportunities, because I don't think Walter and Gunther on SmackDowns for the IC title, right?
I don't know. It might be. Actually, it might be.
You know what? I don't see that match ending clean.
Probably
I feel
not.
like it's going to be a brawl, which would hype up the match on Saturday.
Yeah. I would think that's
the
what they would
Brawlin'
do.
Brutes on this one.
Ooh.
I see Sheamus getting the pinfall to earn an IC title match, but not a pinfall on Gunther.
You know what? I'll go Brawling Brutes too. That's a tough one. Imperium and it looks incredible right now.
I know.
Triple H has done a great job with it. Yeah, I'll go with Brawling Brutes. They're over right now. This whole feud is over.
Nick, a Donnybrook match is so stupid. Just call it no DQ. I hate when they sit there and say no DQ, no count out, anything goes. That's the most redundant sentence ever. Fit the gimmick. It's fitting the gimmick. It's a Donnybrook match because
they're just doing the gimmick.
Yeah, it's a 6-man no DQ match. It's just adding a little, like when Finley and JBL, they had their
Belfast Brawl.
Yeah, Belfast Brawl. It's fitting the gimmick, pal.
That's what they're doing there.
Speaking of gimmicks, the final announced match is Edge versus Finn Balor in an I Quit match.
Should be a good one.
I am set on this finish, and I am going with Finn Balor, because what they're going to do is they're going to do something, somehow, some way. Beth is going to be involved to where they're threatening to do something to Beth, and Edge is gonna have to say, "I quit."
Yeah, I could
Because
see something like that happening.
we
Either
got
that
that
or with Ray.
tease. We got that tease a couple of months ago, where
That.
Beth's,
It was like a month ago.
was it a month ago? Honestly,
It
it
was like
feels
I
longer.
feel like it felt like a month ago, and then I expected like Beth to be on television next week,
Yeah,
and then she never she never was. I was like, I guess it's because they were in Toronto. Or maybe
maybe.
it wasn't more than a month ago then. I don't remember.
But I see that happening because aside from someone else joining them, I don't want to say they're losing their steam, but I don't know if the heat that Dominic is getting is like go away heat.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or like legit heat, because it's getting there.
2 weeks ago, it felt like legit heat, and
Yeah,
then it like in certain places he has real heat, and then in certain other places it's kind of like go away heat. It depends where they are.
he's got a. I don't know if it's his look or if it's his in-ring skills, but it's something's got to give to
Promo
push him to the next level.
might
He's
be
got
his
to get. He's
promo.
got to get to promo. Yeah, he's not
Yeah.
that. He doesn't sound how he looks. Like, I don't know if he just needs, some promo classes, spend some time in NXT.
Yeah. I
But
think I'll say this, I'm more interested in him now than I was before. I'll give him that. But he needs like a class at NXT or something, or he needs to do something in NXT first. Uh-oh. I think we lost Matt. We did lose Matt. Okay. All right. Well, we'll continue. This isn't an announced match yet, but I feel like it might be. Johnny Gargano versus Austin Theory might be coming. They've been doing a lot of stuff with Kevin Owens recently, and I don't know if Kevin Owens will be involved in it, but he might be. But I see Gargano, and now Matt is officially gone. I see Gargano and Theory being as this match. And now Matt's texting me asking if we lost connection. I think you did. Anyway, I could see Austin Theory winning that match if it happens. But he's just been booked weirdly. Triple H is booking him like just beating him every match basically.
Are you ready?
Nick has joined. I think.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody!
Nick to the rescue.
Oh, hell yeah! The dog is back and better than ever.
I had to make my debut as a single podcaster for a minute.
Well, you've been carrying the weight for the longest time. I saw Matt drop the ball, and I thought to myself, you know what, Nick, tag yourself in, get in the game, get in the fight. Let's get it going.
There we go. Welcome, Nick, from Scoreboard Addicts Podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so where were we? I heard a lot of Johnny Gargano. I know we're talking in that direction. A lot of Kevin Owens, an athletic freaking James Corden, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, well, it's an unannounced match for the pay-per-view. I think it might be added Gargano versus Austin Theory, Money in the Bank winner. It may be added to the pay-per-view, but we don't know yet.
I mean, I would watch that. All right, listen.
Yeah.
Despite my feelings about Kevin Owens and how baby fat doesn't last 35 years, he's still an outstanding entertainer. Not my cup of tea, but Gargano's good stuff. So, it's good for the business that they brought him back. And, whenever you put two guys in the ring that can work, only magic happens. Like, I hated Brett when I was a kid, but he could work. And so could Sean. I love Sean. So it's like you put him in the ring and it's like pizza. Everybody's happy. Nobody ever had bad pizza.
Right. Yeah, bringing Gargano back was a big step to see where Triple H was going to go when he, all these free agents out there. And I was surprised when Tony Khan didn't, you weren't interested in bringing Gargano in. I mean, I was surprised by that, but Triple H, maybe Gargano waited around to see if Triple H would bring him back in, and he did.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go with a stabilized unit, Gargano maybe knew better than to go over there and try and I don't know, try to. I mean, if you feel like you're going to end up back in WWE anyway, why even make the trip?
I agree. I mean, everybody's getting lost in the shuffle over there at All Elite Wrestling, so the writing's on the wall. And speaking of writing on the wall, this whole Matt's back. Matt has returned.
I don't know what happened.
Nick came to the rescue.
Nick with the hot tag.
Hot tag.
I was down and out in the corner, tagged in, cleared house. What were you guys talking about? AEW?
I was actually sitting here watching Raw January 31st, 1994. It's Marty Jannetty versus Johnny Polo.
Johnny
Raven.
Raven, right?
Raven.
Yeah.
That was Raven.
What about me?
Matt, we were talking about I was saying how Gargano and Theory may or may not be added to the pay-per-view.
That's right. But for I didn't catch who you picked, Balor or Edge for the I Quit.
I go with Balor.
Balor?
Yeah, I feel like Judgment Day needs a win.
I agree. I'm gonna put that to the side. I feel like more matches will be made for today and on Friday. But some matches we want to see and some matches that might be, I guess, rumored, like you were saying, Gargano and Theory.
Right.
Money in the Bank involved?
Oh, you know what? The way Triple H is booking Theory, it might be. Because Theory hasn't... I don't know if Theory's won a match since Triple H has been put in charge. And I don't know if he has heat with somebody or if Triple H isn't a fan. I don't know why he wouldn't be a fan. Triple H booked him in NXT, but he's just getting beat like a rug.
He's letting the Vince stink wear off.
Maybe it's he has heat. I don't know. But I could see this being for the case if they have this match. I could see Gargano winning it, to be honest.
No, I would be so disappointed if that happens.
I don't know. You brought Gargano in. You're not going to have him lose the first pay-per-view. It's kind of the same thing like Cross. You're going to have him. You're not going to have him lose his first pay-per-view back.
Like Cody.
Yeah, they brought Cody in and they gave him everything.
Yeah. It's definitely interesting because no Roman on this card and
doesn't need it.
And thank you, because I was going to say the exact same thing. Going down the list of matches, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 announced, and the way Triple H has been doing things, less is more, because with having 6 matches, they all get the time that they need. You're not throwing on a 15 match card on 2-hour TV with commercials and shit. So
I thank Triple H a lot for making the shows shorter, so my live coverage doesn't last 6 hours.
Yeah, and they're just and they're enjoyable too. Listen, we all love wrestling, but
not 6 hours of it.
Exactly. Sal and myself. What? Nash
said it. What? Like a month ago, Nash said it.
Yeah. Yeah, Raw needs to go back to 2 hours. I get it, whatever,
They'll never do
TV deals and bullshit.
Yeah, I don't think they'll
But
ever do that.
at least Raw now for 3 hours, it flies by.
Yes. Sometimes when Triple H first started, it did fly by. It's starting to get a little like, all right, I guess we're in the third hour. Like, let's speed this up a little bit. But yeah, it's infinitely better than when Vince was doing it.
Yeah, and it just because we've been to WrestleMania 35. No one wants to sit outside, inside for 6 to 7 hours. That's a long time.
I remember when it was Roman. They put Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. I think, and the crowd was just dead.
Yeah.
And that should have been a match that people were excited. Well, Roman at that time wasn't over as he is now, but that should have been a match people were excited about. And it was like 4 hours in, and no one cared.
No, I was burnt out. I had no energy.
I didn't even care. I was like, oh my god, please end this.
I kind of feel like that about the 2 days of WrestleMania.
Oh yeah, but it's better.
But so for me, it's like going to a concert. Okay, the last act is the headliner, the showstopper, the main event. When you have it for 2 days, it's still whoever wrestled on Sunday night. They're supposed to be the bee's knees and the cat's meow. And the other thing is like I don't dedicate everything to wrestling or even one thing, like I like baseball, I like football, I like hockey.
Right.
I'm gonna go with whatever's most important that day.
Mm-hmm.
If UFC threw a real event on a Saturday and it was competing with the first night of WrestleMania, I'm watching the UFC event because it's real. Like it's an actual competition. It's not a show that I can rewatch later. And to me, that's the problem with the wrestling is like, I don't need to see it live. I really don't. It's not like back in the day where they were going to tell you the story and ruin the story for you if you didn't watch it live. Now, if I watch it 3 days later because I'm watching it at my leisure at another time, it's not a big deal. You know what I mean? So like, if you really want the ratings that day, you kind of got to figure out how to make that work. Because if push comes to shove, it's like, oh, you could watch Monday Night Football or you could watch Raw. I'm watching Monday Night Football every day of the week and twice on Sunday, simply because once I find out the final score of Monday Night Football, there's no point in watching the game at all. And then you missed it.
Yeah.
Whereas Raw, I can watch later that day or later that week or whatever, and it's no big deal. It's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do that with Raw when Monday Night Football starts because Raw's ratings has taken a dip since football has started. And I think a lot of people just, they're like, all right, I'll just watch Raw tomorrow or whatever.
What about during the Attitude Era, Nick? Like, I feel like that too, kind of like what you were saying, how like with whatever's important that day, you don't want to miss it. Wrestling right now isn't.
During the Attitude Era, you couldn't watch it later. You got to record it on a VHS and watch it. Right. The other thing, and it's crude and crass and rude and sexist, but I've watched football a good chunk of my life. I've never seen some girl take out her titties or go into her panties in the middle of a football game. I've seen that on Raw, and I don't want to miss it.
Exactly, because back then
you didn't want to miss Sable.
It wasn't. Now you can miss it. Now you can miss Raw, and not even because you could DVR it or whatever. But back in the 90s, it was can't miss. You don't know what was going to happen, and that's the excitement that I think Triple H is trying to bring back with like this White Rabbit shit, with the QR codes and with just you have to tune in or else you'll miss it.
SmackDown's ratings have done really well. I mean, they just did a 2.5. Yeah, they're doing good numbers.
That's what I meant when I said kayfabe. It's better when it's blurred. When I don't know the line between what's real and what's fake is very blurry. It's good because even this whole thing with Punk at AEW, for a second I was sitting there going, are we getting worked right now? Or is this a shoot that's going to go into a work? Because a lot of things start that way, right? I mean, the whole thing with Edge and Matt Hardy was a shoot that became a work. Yeah. So, like, I was kind of sitting there going, wait a second, is this a shoot? And then unfortunately, I'll tell you this right now. If it was Vince that was running that company, he would have made it into a work immediately. The minute one of freaking either Steel or freaking Punk, whoever punched so-and-so and bit so-and-so, the next freaking day, there would have been a work. The next day. They'd have been like, listen, we got
money here, pal.
Today. We got millions of dollars online today, and we're not letting your stupid soft ass feelings prevent us from making money and doing business, because this is a business. We don't care about your feelings. And Vince would have made it into a work the very next day. They would have had a freaking dentures on a pole match the next day. Whoever gets the dentures gets to bite the other guy.
That's good.
The thing with Vince is I don't even know if any of that happens if Vince is there.
It does though. It does, because it did. It did, right? Sean and Brett got into a fight over Sunny Days. Brett punched Vince in the face. And the next day, Vince took his black eye that he got from Brett and turned it into the greatest villain in the history of professional wrestling.
Yeah, but the way it happened, all that was behind closed doors to fight. Like, Brett wasn't, in the media saying, fuck you, fuck this.
I didn't see Punk or his buddy punch anybody in the face in front of cameras.
No, I don't mean the actual altercation, but what led up to the altercation, like with the way Punk was sitting next to the owner of the company and blasting everybody, saying he works with a bunch of fucking children. No one does that sitting next to Vince or Triple H in WWE.
That's not true.
Absolutely not.
That's not true.
No, I think that
Sean threw a fit after he lost the belt in '98. He interrupted the conference.
I think that was a unique time. I think Vince babied Sean a lot. Vince didn't have. He saw what was going on in WCW. He saw people leave, and okay, everybody's leaving. I have to baby somebody. I have to, babysit, or he's gonna leave too. I think it was a situation like that. Sean was its biggest star at that time.
You have 8 Seans over there at AEW. Just not talented.
You have 8 super kickers over there. You have 8 people that use the super kick. There's only one. Shawn Michaels.
In their minds, they're all Shawn Michaels. They're the guy that they're all carrying the freaking the torch. All of them in their own minds. They're all and in some instances, and I'll say this for the Bucks and Omega. Well, you can have whatever your personal feelings are about them as wrestlers or as workers or whatever the case is they kind of built that company along with Cody. Without Cody and them, and WWE wanted to bring the Bucks over for the longest time. Without Cody and them, that company doesn't even have a TV deal.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the internet. It's a webcast.
No, they did it. They created it, and they got Tony Khan to pay for it.
But as far as like kayfabe, you got to like Matt was saying, you can't be in the middle of a work and then take pictures on vacation with the person you're working with. It's just so bad. It really is. It takes away the magic.
Yeah,
it takes away the magic of the story where you're again when something happens, like rest in peace. When Owen Hart died, everybody in the arena was like, "Did he just die?" There was a split second of, "Oh my God, he's not really dead." But in today's world, like I'll give a perfect example. When Mankind gets thrown off that Hell in a Cell, him getting carted away on the stretcher is not a work. That is legit.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he turned it into a work.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the fact, everybody was just like, that's just part of the show. It really wasn't part of the show. They didn't want him to continue. And they said him, Terry Funk, everybody's just like, I don't know what Mick's doing. This is fucking crazy.
Yeah, and then Terry Funk got chokeslammed out of his shoes.
Mankind going through the top of the cell. That's not a work. That was an accident. But they made it work. But you when the kayfabe is strong, you kind of sit there and you're just like, hey, is this happening? Or is it am I a mark right now? I don't know. Like, I think I'm getting worked right now. And that's a great feeling.
Tony, if Tony Khan was smart, he'd get them all together and say, hey, let's make some money with this. There's a lot of money to be made. And I just don't think he has what it takes to do that.
You know what he doesn't have? The respect. His people don't respect him. Because like what Nick was saying, Shawn Michaels interrupted a press conference back in the 90s, but it wasn't nothing like what Punk did. You know, he went on a fucking tangent. He's cursing out the EVPs, eating cupcakes while his clueless boss is sitting next to him. If I'm and being suspended for what he did, I don't think is good
over
enough.
Colt Cabana. I just can't believe all this is over Colt Cabana.
Neither can I, but it's more, I can't believe Tony Khan isn't making an example out of CM Punk. Because you know what?
Well,
you could do that with him because he's not going to WWE. It's not like it's an Adam Cole or a Malachi.
No.
They don't want him back. Old man Punk is going to go home, sit in his rocking chair, cry like the little bitch that he is, and he could text and tweet Bret Hart about how they hate Triple H and they hate WWE. Fuck them. Let them go on and do their own thing. If Tony Khan wants to turn around his company and grab it by the throat and be like, this is how we're going to do things, you need to fire Punk, and it shouldn't be a private thing. It should be a public thing. If he wants to air dirty laundry out, if he wants to be like, fuck the EVPs, fuck the children I work with, you know what? Take care of him the way he took care of everybody else. Be like, unfortunately, CM Punk is no longer part of AEW. You know why? He's no longer here. It's time to move forward.
Pull out the Vince Russo card. You'll never see his ass on this show again.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. But let me take
imagine Tony Khan trying to be
never.
Oh god.
Never. Let me take a quick break so we can jump into the Raw preview because it's almost dinner time. So we'll be right back.
Thank you, Nick.
Later.
Oh, wait. Thank you, Nick. Appreciate it. Thanks for jumping in.
See you guys.
See you later. And we'll be right back. And we're back. Okay. Appreciate Nick for jumping in due to those technical difficulties. I want to say it's Verizon's fault because just like Target, Verizon is the biggest piece of shit that there is when it comes to customer service. And so is Target because who slaps on stickers?
I guess we're not getting a sponsor from them.
I will never accept a sponsor from Target the way they shipped my Legend Set series. Check my Twitter. It was absolutely disrespectful. But I don't want to get into that right now because it's time to do the Monday Night Raw preview because it's almost time for Sal to get ready to live tweet the show. And the show looks pretty packed from what I'm seeing on WWE.com. Braun Strowman is going to go to school and Chad Gable is going to teach him how to get these hands, I guess. Or, sorry, I read that wrong. Braun Strowman is going to teach Chad Gable how to get these hands. And
I'll tell you what, Braun Strowman has been getting incredible reactions. I mean, you would think like they resurrected Andre or something. He's coming out there and just the crowd doesn't even want to sit down when he's wrestling, when he's in there. It's just crazy. That's, the IWC said, oh, don't bring him back. We don't want him back. But there's a world outside of the IWC that does want Braun Strowman back. So I'm happy he's back. I think he adds a lot.
I'm happy he's back too. And it's interesting to see where he goes from here. I mean, maybe even, we're talking about 5-on-5 for the Bloodline. Rollins, Strowman, Owens. I mean, and I guess the Street Profits, something along those lines. It's definitely interesting because Strowman is definitely, moving in like a runaway train. And I like it. I like what they're doing. It's interesting and it's keeping me engaged. And another thing that's interesting is the Seth Rollins and the Matt Riddle storyline. Like we were saying earlier, they're bringing in UFC legend DC to be the special referee for the Fight Pit match. And it's not a contract signing, but they're going face-to-face tonight, Rollins and Riddle.
Yeah,
so
we'll
it's going to get personal.
Yeah, we'll probably see some good promos, get some personal animosity out there, and maybe a little pull apart brawl. I can see that happening.
I can see
or maybe
that
a
for
fight
sure.
to the back, or something like that. That should be good. They've done a good
Definitely
job.
should be. And we also have a Bianca Belair and Bailey sit down to sign the contract for their Extreme Rules showdown. And if we know wrestling, we know that contract signings are never civil. So
I hope they, I hope they have a good table in there that doesn't tip over.
yeah, it's. I could definitely see that getting physical. It's going to turn into some sort of match. Damage Control will be there. You'll have Asuka and Alexa. So definitely interesting to see where that goes. And from what I'm seeing, the only match that's announced is Rey Mysterio and AJ Styles versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest of the Judgment Day.
That should be a really good match. They're, teasing AJ might, join Judgment Day. He might not. Who knows what he'll do? I think eventually he will. And I'm happy AJ is getting put in, a big storyline here, because he kind of last few months has just been
weird.
His booking has just been odd. It just kind of felt like they had nothing for him. And AJ Styles is one of my favorite people on the roster. I mean, he's just great. So I'm happy to see he's
phenomenal.
He's phenomenal. He should have another title reign soon. There's a lot of people that should have title reigns.
I agree, and that's the problem with Roman holding both belts. But I still think Judgment Day needs something else. Like, it needs another component to it.
Their presentation their presentation right now is the best. I think Triple H has done a great job. A few months ago, I kind of gave up on them.
Yeah,
I was just like, all right, we'll see when does this end. But now I'm really intrigued. I like it. He's done a good job booking them.
Me too. And tonight's only going to be even more interesting to see what happens with AJ and the group. So,
right.
I mean, who knows? And you know what? That's the best thing too, because there's a lot of unknowns happening. Yeah, when we watch Raw, SmackDown, or the pay-per-views, we'll text our friends. Or like we have a watch party. We'll be like, we like predict what's going to happen, like how a match will finish or who's coming out. But like when you're surprised, I think it's better than being like, oh yeah, I called that. Oh yeah, Becky coming out to face Bianca, called it. But like
that's the thing about wrestling. It's that's what's good about it. The surprises, the stories, the swerves, the intrigue. Yeah. That's all the good things about wrestling right now, and that's what WWE has currently.
Yeah,
just wish AEW would jump on board with that.
Hopefully they get there, but they won't be getting there before 8:00 tonight for when you are doing your live coverage of Monday Night Raw via Rasslin Inc. So, make sure you're tuning in. You're watching.
I will also be doing coverage for Extreme Rules.
Ooh, so while you're doing coverage for Extreme Rules this Saturday, I will be hammered in Atlantic City.
I will.
Not watching the show. So I'm going to have to give it a watch Monday when I come back. Which is why we're not having the show on Monday. But I'm confident that this could be one of those B pay-per-views that could be almost like pay-per-view of the year. Kind of like what Clash was.
This could be the best Extreme Rules pay-per-view they've ever done.
Yeah, I agree.
Booking-wise, I feel like it's the best one they've done. We'll see how the show goes and see if it's number one at the end of the night.
What you could do is a great snack to munch on while you're watching Extreme Rules is some killer beef jerky. And if you want to get your own, make sure you go to killerjerkyco.com. use promo code BELLYUP for 10% off your order, because let's be real, times are tough. Who wants to be paying full price for anything? So make sure you use the code BELLYUP, get 10% off. And after that, after you eat that beef jerky, after you're sitting on the couch watching Extreme Rules, a great way to end the night would be to use some CBD dip. So make sure you go to catadipcbd.com, use code Rasslin20. They have a ton of different flavors: mango, peach, apple, watermelon, Check it out. It's mad good. I've been using it, and it's top notch. So make sure you guys get on it. We have a ton of sponsors, and we want to make sure that our listeners take advantage of these sponsors that we have. Use the codes, get high, get some jerky, do your thing, watch Extreme Rules, watch Monday Night Raw. Make sure you're following us. Make sure you're following Sal at WrestlingInc.com. And make sure you're subscribing to our YouTube page so you can see all of our videos, all of our shows. And you know what? I think that's all the time we have for today. So we're going to go. Make sure that you're following us. Make sure you stay in the loop. And make sure you have a great day. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Bah! I don't know why these take so long.
I don't know either. It still says